Hello there, you beautiful people, and welcome back. We're going to be continuing on our discussion of the find command in this video by starting off showing you how to search for things by name. So let's say we want to find this file here called 5.txt, and we're back in our home folder. Okay, we're not in our documents folder anymore, we're just in our home folder, and we know that this 5.txt is somewhere in our home directory. It's somewhere below this point in the file system, but we're not exactly sure where, and we're going to use the find command to find it for us. Okay, so if we clear the screen, let's say, okay, we're going to use the find command. We're going to start from this point in the file system. By the way, this is just a matter of personal preference, actually having the dot. You don't need it, but I like to put it there just to make it a bit more complete. Okay, so there we are, find. We're starting at this position in the file directory, and we want to search by name. So we give it the name option, again, just with one dash. And then in speech marks, so in double quotes, we want to search, we're going to put the pattern that we're searching for. We're going to put 5.txt, and it does need to be in quotes, otherwise the find command plays up sometimes. So make sure you just put it in speech marks, in these double quotes, and you know that will be much better. Okay, so if we do that and press enter, we see that the find command has indeed found the 5.txt, and it's given us the path all the way to it, starting at the current working directory. Okay, so what if we wanted to find 3.txt? That will work as well. So it's found a path to 3.txt. You can build regular expressions in here. So if I put a star, it will find every .txt file from this point in the file system. So we see we've got one in music, we've got find me 4.txt, which I'd forgot I'd created earlier in the course. We've got some in some hidden folders. We have them all over the place. We can actually also limit the depth that we search to. So if we go to a maximum depth of, let's say, 2, remembering that we're going to put the max depth option as the first option, okay? Otherwise we get a big warning, don't we? So if I do max depth 2, name any name that ends in .txt, we can see that we found all the files that end in .txt, but only going 2 depths in. So that's really, really cool, right? You can search by name like that, and you can also have wildcards. So I could do file and then a number .txt, and nothing comes up. What if I did something like question mark .txt? Nothing comes up. But if I go to a big depth of, like, let's say 10, now we see that we just get 4.txt, 5.txt, 3.txt, and 2.txt. But these find me 1, find me 2, find me 4, etc. are ignored because they don't match this this regular expression. So that is a really powerful ability. Just by building upon your knowledge of regular expressions and wildcards, you can really tailor the find command to your needs. And the one thing I should note here is that you can't do brace expansion inside the name command. Okay, so that's just something to bear in mind. Okay, at least inside double quotes. Let's just leave that there. Okay, so the other thing is that you can search in a case-insensitive way by searching .iname. So if I change this here to .txt all in uppercase, let me clear the screen, txt in uppercase, that will now match. Okay, I probably did that wrong way around. If I do it like this, just search name, okay, now you'll see nothing matches because now it's searching case-sensitive. But if I change it to iname, so it's case-insensitive, searching for the name, so uppercase and lowercase don't matter. Now it will match because it doesn't care that this txt is in uppercase. So that's good. If you're not sure whether you put an uppercase in the file name, it's good to search with iname to make the search just a bit more general. Now, another interesting way to search for files with the find command is by file size. So let's say that we wanted to search the entire file system for every file that is larger than 100 kilobytes. Okay, so let's clear the screen. How would we do that? Well, what we'd do is we'd type the find command. Then we need to give it, of course, a place to start searching from. So let's start from the very base of the file system because we want to find every file on the system. So let's start at the very base of the system. We want to search for files that are larger than 100 kilobytes. So let's say that we want files. So let's specify a type of F, so because we were just looking for files, not folders. And we want a size. So we're going to give it the size option. Again, 1 dash. And now this is how you'd say greater than 100 kilobytes. Okay, so you see the plus, meaning greater. If it was less than, you'd have minus, so that's less than 100 kilobytes, but we want more than, so more than 100, then a lowercase k for kilobytes. So if I press enter, you'll see that we get a whole bunch of output as we look for all the files that are bigger than 100 kilobytes, starting at the very base of our file system. But one thing you might have noticed, if you had a quick eye, if I scroll up to the top, is that we got a lot of permission denied errors. If I can show you by scrolling all the way back up, there we go. You can see that we've got a lot of permission denied, permission denied, permission denied. And the reason is that's because we started at the base of our file system, and remember, the find command will try to enter every folder, but it couldn't because it didn't have the required privileges to enter some of the folders in our base directory that are only accessible to the root user, to the super user, to the administrator. Okay, so to fix that, we just prefix the command with the sudo command. So we're going to go sudo and then do the rest of it, and we'll get a whole lot less errors, okay, because we're not going to have those access errors before. Now we can count the amount of results that we actually got out of this by piping the entire thing into the word count command with the L option, and what this will do is it will count the amount of lines in the output that you give it. So if you notice, when we run this, we get one result per line. Okay, so if we pipe all of that into the word count command and give it the L option, this will count how many lines there are. And if we do that, we get 3,144 results, which is a whole bunch of results. Now, one thing that's interesting is the way that you can chain together different sizes. So here we're saying it needs to be greater than 100 kilobytes, and this is how we'd say it has to be less than 5 megabytes. Okay, so here what we're doing is we're chaining together all these different requirements. We're saying that it has to be a file, and the file size has to be bigger than 100 kilobytes, and the file size has to be less than 5 megabytes. And if we count how many of them there are, we see that we get quite a few less. Now we're going to get 3,030 files instead of 3,144. So there's about 114 files that aren't being shown anymore because they were bigger than 5 megabytes. So if I clear the screen, one thing that I really want to highlight here is the way that we're chaining together different requirements. Okay, so here we're saying it has to be a file, and the size has to be greater than 100 kilobytes, and the size has to be less than 5 megabytes in order for it to be contained in our requirement. Okay, so how would we say something like, okay, I want to find all the files that are less than 100 kilobytes or bigger than 5 megabytes. Okay, well, the way that we do that, I mean, first of all, if we wanted to say less than 100 kilobytes, we'd do that, and if we want to say greater than 5 megabytes, we need to change that to a plus. But at the minute here, let's see how many results we get. We're going to get 0 results because it's impossible for a file to be less than 100 kilobytes and greater than 5 megabytes. Okay, you can't be bigger than 5 megabytes at the same time that you're less than 100 kilobytes. That's not possible. What we want to say is it needs to be less than 100 kilobytes or greater than 5 megabytes. Not and. It needs to be less than 100 kilobytes or greater than 5 megabytes. The way that you do that is you type a -O in between the two requirements. So here what we're saying is it's got to be a file, and its size needs to be less than 100 kilobytes or greater than 5. So if we do that, you can see now that we get a whole bunch of results, 199,112 results. Now you can go quite wild with this anding and oring, but I think that will do. I think that'll do for now. You can also do not and loads of other different logical operations, if you're familiar with Boolean logic. But I'll leave that up to you if you want to find more by looking at the man pages. It would just be a bit of a mess to show by video. So we've covered quite a lot in this video. We've seen how to use the name option for the find command to search for things by name. So you'd use -name and then give it in double quotes a certain regular expression that you wanted file names to match. So I could do anything ending in .txt, for example, using the star wildcard, and that would give us all the files that ended in .txt. And you can make the search case insensitive so that uppercase and lowercase don't matter by using the iname option. So now that even though we have said .txt in uppercase, it doesn't matter because we're using the iname option. So that was the first thing we looked at, how to find files by name. Then we took a look at how you could find files by their file size, and you saw that you use the size option and then you give it a certain file size, and the plus means above, the minus means below, or you could actually give it just exactly, for example, 500 megabytes. That's exactly 500 megabytes. This is above 500 megabytes. This is below 500 megabytes. A capital G, by the way, is gigabytes, and you can find more on that in the man page for the find command. But in the next video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be jumping onto some very exciting stuff, and what we're going to be showing you is how you can use the find command to not only give you a whole bunch of results, but in the same command also execute another command or even another pipeline on every single one of those results. So this is a turbocharger for your work on the Linux command line, and I hope you're very, very excited. So let's cut the video here and jump over into the next one where we're going to learn how to gain even more superpowers.